basement. Oh, Daddy, can we see? Go tell them that the guest room is vacant. Welcome to the family.
See, wait, I don't want to but yeah, it's in the background. Actually, my voice is going to be in the background in a second. Let's stop that. Right. Oh god. Hello? Oh god. Things froze. Eh? Why?
Why?
Why is the slideshow not working?
Slideshow?
Okay,
is everything okay?
I think everything's okay now.
Excellent.
Let's see. Right, we're at Sepang, Henry. You don't like it.
I don't. Well, I don't like it in these cars.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you did say this earlier, and I have realised what the track actually is. Because I was doing a U and I couldn't put the name to the actual track. But it's a great track for F1.
Yeah.
Like, the races they have here are great when they were here.
Yeah, and I do feel like the track's more suited to those high downforce cars. It feels really weird in a low downforce car. And I guess that's just part of how it was designed. But I mean, a lot of the other tracks we've raced at this series are also designed for high downforce, but still worked well in the GT cars. I feel like this track's maybe a little bit of an exception to that. In the GT cars, it's just a bit awkward. It feels awkward to drive.
Welcome to Tilka.
Yeah, maybe that is
And
a good
Joe
point.
did say this the other day, but this is a Tilka championship, isn't it? Jeez.
It is.
A lot of
There's been
Tilka.
A lot of Tilka. I guess next week isn't Tilka.
No, probably
And
not.
what else have we had? Suzuka.
No.
That's not. Autopolis, that isn't. But then, Bahrain.
Yeah.
Okayama isn't.
No.
Chang. Is Chang?
I think it is, yeah.
Shanghai, that's a Tilka. Korea, that's a Tilka. And Buddha, which is also a Tilka. So yeah. Especially towards the end of this championship. Lots of Tilka going on.
The driver should just know the track off by heart. Because it's the same thing every time.
I've driven it like 6 times,
yeah. I mean, you've driven the same corners every week. Just in different orders.
Yeah, I was going to say, that might make it more difficult. Because you'll go around turn 5 on this track and think, oh yeah, I'm at Shanghai.
Oh, yeah.
On turn, is it turn 11? I think it's turn 11.
I don't know which one you're talking about, but yeah.
The long sweeping. Well, anyway, it doesn't matter.
The
Not
long.
important.
It's like turn 1, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh yeah, it is. That's a good point. And then you expect to go into the next corner on that track, but actually then suddenly you're back in the room, and you're at Sepang, and everything's going terribly because now you're in the wall.
And you're at Sepang.
And you're at Sepang. I wanted to do something today that I don't think we've actually done yet.
No.
And that is
Watch a clean race.
No, because that won't happen.
Right.
But to talk about the championship standings.
Yeah, these does
before
exist,
the race.
does
They do. And I think might give us a bit of context for some of our races today, because right now Alex Ball miles out in the lead. Realistically, I think he's pretty safe. But then it is incredibly close. From Martin to Andy, we've only got 4 points difference. And then from Andy to Callum, 6 points. 2 points from Callum to Pete. 4 points from Pete to Paul. So second to sixth place in the championship right now is not a done deal. And those guys could all switch round. So any of them could take second place in the championship. So
There you go.
those are going to be the cars for us to have a look at today.
Did a thing.
What's that?
I'm showing it on stream.
Excellent. Yeah, so you can see. Very close there for that second place battle.
Yeah, and 4th and 5th, Callum and Pete. Only 2 points difference between them two.
That's what I mean. Like the gap between Callum and Martin in second is still only 10 points. So in 2 races, that could he could close that gap theoretically quite easily. So yeah, it's going to be a good fight for those top few positions, excluding first place in the championship, unless something very drastic happens to Alex. Speaking of which, Alex is currently in P14 in this session. I think he hasn't actually set a lap.
No. It's not come up on my list. Martin is currently P1 with a 204.3 in this qualifying session. We have 24 minutes remaining. Stuart, Mr. Not actually Scottish, got shouted at by him.
Did we? Why does he have a Scottish flag on his roof?
Yeah, that's what I thought. Well, he messaged me on Discord saying I'm not actually Scottish.
Right. Did you ask him why he had a Scottish flag on his roof?
No. I can't remember what actually I replied with. I was drunk. I said, sorry bro, was relying too much on the skin. There you go.
Fair enough. Well, do number 2. Electric Boogaloo. New Stew.
New Stew, that's what we call it.
I think that's what we settled on, yeah.
Oh god, I remember this track is good in F1 cars.
Currently in P2.
I keep seeing bits of the track and then it's bringing back memories of playing the F1 games when this was in it. Alex putting himself into P3. I do have some sauces as well. Not the eating sauces, but a sauce of who's going what's some tips. Apparently the hardest this track so far in the calendar is the hardest track on the tyres. The softs massively overheat, yes, what? Hello? Henry? Henry?
User in your channel timed out.
I think we found what happened to Henry, so I've gone solo for a bit. Henry's internet has died. That just in. And I'll leave the source material because I feel like Henry's going to be really interested in by that.
User in your channel.
There he is.
That was fun. Hello, I'm back.
Welcome back. Internet died, just internet dead.
Yeah.
Excellent.
But then it recovered by itself. I got up to do something and then it just came back. There we go. I went as you were midway through a point and I didn't hear the end.
Hardest track on the tyres so far is this track, apparently.
Really?
Yeah. The softs apparently massively overheat on a single lap.
Okay.
Qualifying will be on the softs, according to this person. Race will be on the mediums. Or, if someone's feeling a bit mental, maybe it could two-stop on the softs.
Fruity. Yeah.
Because they are 1.5 seconds a lap faster.
And also another interesting thing today is whether Brad is going to be able to fix his computer in time to join the server. He has fixed it. It is working, but now he's trying to get Assetto Corsa installed and running. He reckons he'll make it before the end of qualifying. So fingers crossed that he makes it in time.
Anyway, I'll carry on with my points before I was rudely interrupted. There's going to be a 2-2 carnage. Apparently.
Yeah, absolutely agreed.
Apparently, it's a virtual stop on the apex.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, he hopes I have a lot to drink. And he expects a low 204 and a high 203 for Paul. And currently, for Paul, there's a low, well, not that low, mid-low, 204.3. Okay, thanks, Martin. A low 204.1 from Martin. So this person is definitely on the money with that. Can Martin get into the 203s? Can anyone else? Can Alex? Can Stuart? Oh, Brad wants and is no. Does look like Callum is going to have to owe Brad a bottomless. Because it does look like he's going to be able to actually join the race, which is incredible. Brad, with his lack of knowledge of computers, going to be able to fix his PC and get onto a race around Sepang. Anyway, currently 14 drivers doing a valid lap. Slowest is Stu, fastest is Martin, who's in the pits. And Stu number 2, new Stu, P2, we're at 204.5, 18 minutes remaining. Henry, you there?
I am here, yes, and I think I was just having a look and I think about your times, and I think I agree there. A low 203 should be doable for these guys. If they can stitch all the sectors together. You were saying that you think the best to be a low 203, right?
No.
No?
That's not what this is not what I said, this is what source said. Just in case it's wrong.
Say?
Expect a low 204 and a high 203. Which we've got right now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I don't know. It does depend, I guess, on those tyres. Whether you can keep the softs in the window for long enough. Very ginger outlap. And then maybe, as it looks like Paul is about to improve, he's got one more corner to go, currently in P7.
The goddamn long left-hander. Well, not long left, the tight left-hander. A beautiful left-hander going around a beautiful grandstand. Going out across the apex. Is he going to go faster? Is he going to beat Callum? Does, just because above Callum with a 205.9.
Yeah, lovely sunny day at Sepang
Yeah,
as well.
thank God it's not thundering and
Yeah, I was
scouting
gonna
showers.
say, all the thunder's gone. I don't know if it. I think this might be a 24-hour in-game. Well, Callum was complaining that it was nighttime in practice. Unless he does different things in practice to what he does in the race, I don't know.
Well, this was a 12-hour.
It could be. It could be a 12-hour. I don't know. I suppose we'll find out soon enough. As it looks like a lot of drivers here opting to drive the qualifying lap very close to each other.
I lied. This is 24 hours.
There we go. And yeah, it looks like nearly all of the drivers right now coming out of turn 2, all in a big bunch. Not what you'd normally see in a qualifying session. Maybe they're all hoping to get a bit of a tour down the straight.
Especially with 16 minutes remaining. It's not exactly the last gasp ever.
Not like we all go at the same time. You've got decent gaps for the most part. As the seed lets Pete through. And it looks like Martin's right behind as well, going past as well.
I can actually look at the relatives on my leaderboard, and I do seem a bit spread out. Callum's got Pete behind him. Oh, it's now got Philip and Pete. Pete probably the closest behind him. I think things are slowing down a bit.
They're kind of opening the gaps as they go around this lap. I guess this is an out lap for most of them. And qualifying sessions. And I don't know if you're on board with Callum there. That corner that Callum just went round, turn 13 and 14, is one of two on this circuit where it's really tricky to pick your line, and you end up kind of braking in the middle of the corner because it tightens in an odd way. I think we're going to see lots of drivers taking different lines through that corner. It's going to make it quite interesting in the race.
Martin using all the suck he could get as he wibbles a bit as he comes under braking.
He was a bit uncertain on his turn in there, kind of turned in and then realised he was too early, turned back out again.
Doesn't actually improve on his best, which is a 204.01. There's a vote to kick Stewart.
Oh, well, that's tempting.
I'm going to have to say no.
I think I might have to say no as well. Have not seen new Stu do anything wrong.
Yeah, we'll have to look at the stewards. Why one of the drivers put a vote down. And, see why he annoyed someone, which he probably did. Or maybe it was an accident. I think it was probably an accident.
Most likely, yeah.
Shut up, Henry. don't agree with me.
Oh, no, it definitely wasn't that. It was Alex. He's mad because new Stu's in P2 and it's a big beef. He's taking
Alex is like, but I want
points.
P2.
Yeah. How darest thou?
Oh, there's Lee. Lee has arisen from the depths of hangoverness.
Oh, is Lee in the chat?
He is in the chat. He's saying kick him.
Good evening, Mr. Lee.
In honour of Lee, I am having my tickle monster. Which he had about 5 of last night.
Do you have a tickle monster as well? Crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I mean, I've already drank my tickle monster, but I'm on a blueberry drink right now.
Blueberry squash.
Blueberry muffin pale ale. There you go.
Oh. Where'd you get all? Oh, was it the order you did like last week sometime? Fancy.
Well, Lee, if there was no hangover, where were you today? Me and Henry were playing a Elite Dangerous without you.
We needed the Furley lands.
We need the Furley lands. Did you only just wake up? I bet you only just woke up. It is a much ado about muffin.
Ah, lovely. Oh, and James Gray there, finding the limits of traction around turn 14, and that was the corner I was just talking about.
Can't tell what he was attempting to do there. I think maybe he's trying to get out of the way, but he just went across the bar. Anyway, Philip's disconnected. We're on board with Callum as we come around on the left-hander. Never mind, Alex Ball, P3. Henry, you never sent me your track notes.
Oh, well, they're not very good for this track, so I don't like it. So
I was just kind of hoping you'd have like a track map, but I can just Google that.
Yeah, I mean, I can send you it if you want.
Nah, that's fine. Sepang. Track. Mapu. Just so I can know the numbers of these corners. As we, oh, gee, this is looking like a race between Stu and the person behind him. I'm not quite sure who it is in
That's
the Beamer.
Ian. Yep. Ian, Mr. Ian.
Oh my god, yeah, T1 is like China.
Almost like it's a Tilka track.
Yeah, Joe. Henry doesn't like it. Neither does Callum.
Wait a sec. What? I'd like to be clear. I don't like it.
I
I don't like it in a GT3 car.
And then Joe will reply, "Of course, it's a GT3 car."
Yeah, I think I would like it in a downforce, a high downforce.
I did explain this to him in F1. It's fun. And Bob Martin, who goes across the line. Is that no? He didn't go across the line. He's going across the last corner right now. Which is I don't even know which turn 15. Yeah. Goes across the line. Ooh. He's in the 203s.
203.9. Nice lap. And it looks like your contact in the system was pretty correct. We've still got 10 minutes to go, but Martin currently 0.6 of a second faster than anybody else.
It does seem like lots of people are doing the one lap and then going back to the pits because the softs definitely are pushing the limits.
Wearing out very quickly. Which I guess means we won't be seeing... Oh, as it looks like Brad is launching Assetto Corsa. With 9.5 minutes to go, he may just get a couple of laps in.
It's going to be a dangerous game for everybody else. In the server, as we look at Dave, who's in there outside the outside apex very nicely. Comes on to the second. As I said that, he'd missed the outside apex there.
Oh, I thought you were taking the mic.
No, he did actually.
Like, because he'd missed the apex, he was using the outside apex.
No, he was using the whole track.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Do you mean like the exit apex?
Yeah, the outside apex, yeah.
Okay. Is that the official term for it?
I don't know if it's about the official term, but it's a term.
But it's your term, okay.
Yeah.
And Dave there with a 2:05.6, that is his best lap, but he doesn't improve his position at all. Got quite a big gap to Pete and P4. And it seems like Philip must be having some issues here, disconnecting from the server very frequently, according to my game.
But there's nothing wrong with outside apex.
And here comes Brad actually connecting to the server this time. His initial AC launch must have been successful.
What do you mean? What do you mean? The apex on the outside of the corner.
It's not really an apex, is it? Though?
Oh, that's true. Actually,
it's the exit curb.
Yeah.
Or
I always like. I don't know why, but the red and white things are always apexes to me.
Ah, okay. I mean, I get what you mean when you say it.
Sure, your face is a fucking apex.
And that's the most important thing.
Yeah, I know it's the curb, but I call it the apex. Alright. As the person behind James Graham completely misses the inside curb. And we see lots of cars. Still, Bobby's skin is still not working as he comes around the... I don't want to say any more terminology because I feel like I get it wrong.
the back straight. No, it's not even the back straight, really. It's like the second main straight, because both of these track straights are right after each other.
What's Joe up to, Gabby?
And Bobby also improving his time there. But not improving
Wow.
his current qualifying position. Oh, and Brad's
Wow.
disconnected. Guess that was a checksum problem there.
I never banned anyone in this stream before, but I feel like Gabby's getting close.
Stepping out of line. I haven't got the chat open today. I didn't have time to find it.
I mean, Joe and Lee have some very important thoughts, but this GMD Looker person doesn't. But yes, this is a 24-hour format, as we're going into the night time. All the cars turning on their headlights, hopefully. Probably one or two who aren't actually using the lights and maybe don't have solar. Callum goes around the China first corner. And Bobby with his still not working skin in his McLaren.
And pretty soon we're going to be seeing people going out for their final set of laps, I would guess. And I guess we want to do an on
Yep, I was
board
going
with someone.
to say that.
Let's
Pick,
wait until...
tell me who to do and I'll do it.
Yeah, we'll wait a sec. I'll wait until I see somebody definitely going for an outlap so that we don't accidentally watch someone who's...
Because it is a great time for me to go for a piss.
Excellent. Yeah, so the next person to pull out of the pits who's in the top 6, that's who I'm going to go with. Or actually, maybe even not only the top 6. Actually, wait, no, Pete just crossed... Oh, no, it's too late. Too late for Pete. He's already at turn 2. I didn't...
Stuart's coming around the last corner. I think this might be a fast lap though.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't know who's, like, on laps
See, as
already.
it comes around the outside of the corner.
His last lap was actually quite quick, so this might
Does
be
he
an
do
outlap.
a 204.3?
Oh, no, yeah. He just
faster.
improved.
Not quite fast enough to get himself into P1. I think he might be carrying on with it. He does look like he's braking for it. Oh, is he gonna carry on with it? This is...
Oh, well, you'd think that was probably a cut, so
Wait,
I'd
what?
imagine not. Oh no, sorry, it put me on board with James, that's why. It put me on board with someone else. I thought I turned auto cam off.
Alright. Henry, I trust that Stuart's actually doing a lap, so... Watch the
Stuart?
not Scott. Yeah. New Stu.
Oh, but he's already like halfway around.
Okay. Alex has gone around the first corner.
Oh, Callum is just driving out of the pits right
Alex
now.
went off.
Oh no,
No, he's not.
He's stopped. Why did he stop?
Everyone's in the pits right now. Except Andy. And James and Pete.
Right. Who's
Pete's
that
crashing
that's
now.
setting off? That is Alex setting off. Somebody else is as well. Oh, that's Bobby setting off.
Okay, I'm on board with Alex, so you do
Alex? Okay. Currently on his outlap, so we won't worry too much right now. Let me get on board with him. Okay. So Alex, currently our championship leader. Quite a long way out in front on points, but still third place in the championship. Third place in this qualifying session. So, I'm quite a way back from New Stu and Martin. But we don't always see him qualifying in the front, but it does seem that Alex, at least in the last couple of weeks, has been doing a good job of staying consistent in the races. He won last week at Bud. Actually didn't win the prior 2 weeks to that, so Shanghai and Korea. So whilst he is leading the championship by quite a way, he isn't a dead cert for winning the races. Martin and Stu and Pete have been putting up a good challenge at the front end of this grid. And Alex is coming towards the end of his outlap now. Just coming on to the exit of turn 14 here. down this long straight, and then we're going to be around the final corner and onto what should be probably Alex's last flying lap. Looks like he's just backing off a little bit here to get himself a nice gap to fill. As Philip is now exiting the last corner. And presumably Alex is going to commit to this lap. So not quite using all the exit. That exit is straight onto some grass. So probably keeping away from that. Just trying to get a good run down this pit straight. Very long pit straight. Going to be braking at around about 100. There. Down into second. Touching this curb a little bit. Using that curb, but then avoiding the curb on turn 2. A little tap of it there. Probably about the limit of what you can do. That curb can be very nasty. Then flat up through turn 3 onto a pretty short little straight. Turn 4's just a little bit more than 90 degrees. Nice and easy again. Going to be using this curb. Having a bit of a wobble right out onto the exit curb, but just getting away with it. Into turn 5, probably going to be a bit of a lift. Yeah, a little gentle lift into turn 5, using all of that curb as well. Very brave on the curbs. And then another lift into 6, up over a crest. Another little bit of a straight. Now we're coming into some pretty fast right-handers. That's 7. And then a bit odd, a little bit of power, and then back off again into 8. Wonderfully done there. Really nice line from Alex. Coming down towards turn 9, nearly 180 degrees. Coming uphill, a little bit awkward on the exit here. Can't get on the power as much as you'd like. Around turn 10, flat. And then going to have to brake here for turn 11. Very awkward braking point there. Difficult to get right. Alex doing a pretty good job of it as we come down to 12. This is going to be a bit of a lift. Nice and easy. And then 13, another awkward braking point here. Into turn 14. Oh, and a little bit unsure on the turn in. Catches the curb. That's going to cost him quite badly there. Onto the back straight, and yeah, dropping out.
Giving it up.
Lap. Because that curb caught him out. And yeah, those corners are tricky. Difficult to get right. 10 into 11, 13 into 14. And,
yeah, counting is hard for Henry.
Yeah.
13 to 14 is very hard to say. Anyway.
What do you mean? I said it fine. I'll accept it when I get things wrong, but when I get it right.
There's a joke that if you take the word turn out of it, 13 to 14 is very hard. But 5 to 7. Oh.
5 to 7. God, no one can do 5 to 7.
Brad disconnects again. Doesn't look like Brad. Gonna either get a good lap, get a good amount of practice as Calm goes around. Into the pits, uses the pit straight, a bit of practice in terms of pits, because we'll definitely need to pit. He absolutely yeets it, and definitely goes faster than the pit speed limit. Should get a penalty for that, but Assetto Corsa does not do such thing. I feel like I always complain about Assetto Corsa during these.
Pretty reasonable.
I mean, it's not reasonable things I complain about now. Like, I complain about people going across the white lines. I mean, I suppose it's reasonable, but meh. Pit speed limit, yeah, but everyone can do it, so it's meh.
Although I have found out that if you do that with my new drive-through penalty, it won't count the drive-through because you're not in the pits for long enough.
Oh.
There you go.
Bit of hashtag sponsor.
New in-progress penalty system for server manager.
Bullshit.
Very
Bullshit.
secret.
It's terrible.
Wink, 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 nod, nod. It's
absolutely wank.
Just because it made you do a drive-through, Danny. You were cutting the track
it's
and
biased,
you know it.
It's biased towards me.
I did make it biased towards you. That's true. And also anyone with a GUID ending in 7.
I don't even know what my GUID ends in. Right.
Probably 7.
Oh, does everyone's end in 7?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, it's daytime and my eyes are burning because one from night to day. But we have the people on the grid. Henry, talk us down the grid.
In first place, we've got Martin Bouchan. Excellent qualifying from him today. New Stu in P2. I think New Stu's best qualifying position so far. Alex in P3. Not quite where he's used to, but still a solid qualifying there. Pete is going to be in P4 in that lovely Marlboro McLaren livery. Pretty good qualifying for him as well. And then Callum in P5. Again, a pretty good qualifying from Callum today. We haven't really seen him much. I think he'll be happy with P5. Dave in P6. The lights are on. Paul in P7. Andy in P8. Bobby in P9. James in P10. Colin in P11. Ian in P12. Philip P13. Hasib P14. And Stu P15. The race is about to start.
And let's go! Good job, and Stu hasn't started, and lots of people haven't started.
Basically nobody started.
Schumer getting a restart because I bet it's Brad's fault.
That is probably...
I bet it was Brad was like, guys, but I have a joint, so could you just wait like 2 seconds to restart it? Because I want to drive. So if you can all, let's wait a bit.
Yep, and it does look like that is the case.
Oh, Paul Harrison doing some nice donuts.
Getting a couple of test starts here on the grid.
Yeah, everyone could be doing test starts right now, but everyone's just sat still. As we do actually restart now, this might... Oh, no. Okay, there we go. Didn't confuse it. And I was gonna, after a while, Brad's launching the game now, compliment Autocam because it started at the first person rather than completely ignoring them. But it did actually ignore them this time.
Autocam went through the grid properly for me then, very slowly. Which is why it was so close to the lights going when I reached the back of the grid.
It does it just slowly usually, but...
Yeah. But that's fine. It looks like we're also getting Adam connecting to the server. I don't know if Adam took part in qualifying. He did not. So we've also gained Adam. And I think we've gained another driver as well.
Oh god. Well,
anyway.
The lights are coming on. Lots of revving engines, which makes me think this is the actual start. And the lights are out, we've got cars moving for once, and the Porsche over there gets a great start. Going side by side is definitely 3 wide. Alex got an incredible start. He's going into P1 already with a bad qualifying, but he's got a great start. He looks like he's going to go into P1. Mine's going to drop down into P2, but Stuart looking for the place, but mine does look like he's going to hold it. Dave's going in the inside. Looks like someone's going to wind. I think that's Pete. Pete's going to lose out. Going to spin out. Going to drop out a lot of places. Hello, Brad.
And we've had a couple of crashes there. I think Ian, Pete, Dave, Paul, Andy. But Pete and Hasib coming off worse there, dropping back from the pack a little bit already.
What a start for Alex. Did a terrible qualifying in terms for him, but gained 2 positions already. With Martin behind him, who will definitely want him to put pressure onto him. Only 14 drivers now, definitely dropped a few over the races. Especially this man, Brad. Brad, why are you not racing?
I had to build an entire new computer today, and I got into the server but couldn't toggle lights, logged out to fix that, and then the session was closed to new drivers.
Is that why we restarted?
Yeah, there was an attempt to allow me, and I think it was Phil, to get in, and both of us couldn't get in.
There you go. Inside knowledge as Bobby gets past Hasib. Bobby, I think, had a terrible start. I think, was it any higher than that? Oh, was it Brad? Henry?
Bobby qualified in P9. I'm not sure where he is now.
Okay. He's in 12th now. Definitely dropped back to quite a bit. Pete also, we definitely saw drop back quite a bit, just behind Bobby. James.
Pete to climb from that position.
Yep, definitely.
Yeah,
James.
I mean, Pete qualified in P4, so he's definitely lost out there.
There goes Bobby, right?
Bobby. Yeah, Bobby's going to drop down a bit. He's lost it. And someone else has, actually.
And it looks like Martin is right on the tail of Alex here, coming towards turn 1. He's on the outside, and he's going to be making a challenge. This is a throwback to last week when Martin was stuck behind Alex all race. And Alex runs a little bit wide. Martin goes for the cutback but doesn't quite get it. And we cut away.
How does the GTR compare full pace to the Lamborghini?
Oh,
They're very similar.
very,
Yeah,
very similar.
All of the cars are very similar.
I mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
the Lambo does accelerate better than some of the other cars, but
the GTR definitely has a good
And
top
Martin's having
speed.
another look here. I think he's. Oh no, he's not quite on the outside.
He's
as they
thinking
go
about it.
into turn
Definitely was
5.
thinking about it.
Yeah, and Martin looking very racy here at the start.
Yeah, maybe thinking
And,
about last week when he just stuck
yeah.
behind him for that long time, and maybe tried to do it on pit stops, but this time he's putting all the punches up to Alex. Alex may be having to do a bit more defensive, which is also allowing Stu to get some time. Oh, I was using my brain to think about what the fuck's happening on screen because Martin is really trying to get past Alex, but like I was gonna say, Stuart's definitely catching up to these three too. Counting with Winey.
And I think we missed Callum losing a position
Eh.
down into P6 to Dave there. And also Paul.
Callum would have been in P6 for a couple of months now. Am I wrong?
Well, yeah, but we whenever it happened, we didn't see it
sorry.
on the stream, I mean. So yeah, at some point in all the madness, Paul and Dave both gaining some positions and Callum losing one. Paul from P7 on the grid up into P5, so a great start for him. And now into P4, but actually not because he's gone very deep there and Dave's going to make his way back past.
Definitely a three-way battle.
Yeah, those three
between
fighting close. Callum's right with them as well.
Dave, Paul and Callum. Callum definitely going to be sitting back watching this battle happen. As actually I think Paul's going to go for another dive. He's going to go around the outside. Dave's going to have the inside. Who's going to get a better exit? Dave is going to have the inside, but Paul's going to have the inside for this next line, but he's going to give it away. Oh, they're going to touch. They're going to touch, I think, a bit there. And I think Dave is going to get it, but I think Callum is going to get past Paul. This is like the most British as Martin. Oh, they're going side by side. Oh, things are actually happening. What's happening? Henry Racing's happening.
Racing, I know, and I think Callum's got that move stuck there, back past Paul into P5, so back where he started in this race. And I think those three will be enjoying themselves a lot. Looks like they're having a good battle.
See, this is why we employ you to sit in chat and actually pay attention. As Callum lost positions on the start and dropped P7 and someone spun out and he got P6 as Stuart for some reason goes very wide and spins completely into the thing. He's going to lose lots of places. He might have like timed out or something. It's new Stu. He's going to lose a lot of places. Definitely got a lot of damage there.
I was going to say, he's probably going to have to pit for that damage. He went quite fast into the wall there.
And that's that whole fight we were just watching going past him. And someone else here in the barrier, that's Hasib in P14. Looks like he's a bit beached on that grass. And yeah, he's back onto the circuit now.
Henry, it's grass, it's not sand, so he can't be beached on it. Anyway. Martin's definitely going to get the exit out of here as we come round the second to... the last... Is it the last straight?
No,
Is
it's
it
the second to last.
Yeah, no, it's not. I know it's the second to
Oh,
last.
I know what you mean.
But
yeah.
is it?
I
Is
don't know.
it?
It doesn't
Because
matter too
this
much.
is the first straight, but it's technically the last straight. Anyway, Martin's going to... I hyped it up, and I was talking to hype it up, and... fuck all
Nothing
happened.
Yeah. Sounds about right. So
Anyway.
new Stu there, electing not to go into the pits. He's going to try and fight his way through that damage, it looks like, at least for a couple more laps.
Brad, you're a driver. What would that kind of damage do to your car?
I had that damage last week and it was horrible. For about 15 laps I survived with that damage and it... On hindsight, probably should have pitted for hards, but...
Martin is actually going to look down the inside. It definitely looks like a racing move it is. Oh, and Alex is going to touch the rear of Martin. Martin looks like he's going to hold it there. No spinning out here. And it looks like Martin's going to hold the position. 3/10 already. Looks like he's going to try and drive away with it. Something he couldn't do in the other races. Always got the position and then going to lose it straight away after the next corner. But this time, Martin has got past Alex.
Yeah, I think we might have called that a tactical tap there afterwards from Alex. But yeah, Martin holding that position, great move. nice and brave, and then just hugging the apex afterwards to not give Alex anywhere to go. A good move. And now let's see what sort of gap he can pull. As you say, already 7/10 up the road, and probably hoping to open that gap up some more to give himself some breathing room.
Yep.
Oh, and that's Ian in the wall, and that is out of the exit of turn 8, and that was a big impact there.
Exactly where New Stu did his incident. That means that I think old Stu, Colin and Pete, I think, gained positions. Bobby definitely looking to get in a position, especially when Ian's going to go wide like that. Bobby definitely going to get a position, and he is. Ian only in front of Hasib now, definitely looked quite good for him. And
Andy having a spin there. On
Andy's
turn
in these races,
14.
isn't he?
Yeah, so Andy losing positions to... Wait, did he actually lose any positions? I don't think he actually did, but he's definitely lost time. He was quite close to New Stu, I believe. And falling back, Andy a little bit off the pace this week compared to normal, I would say.
I think old Stu trying to get round Colin, who was definitely side by side on the second to last straight, or the last straight. I don't know.
It's the battle of the Porsches.
Yeah, and the battle of the weird liveries.
And Callum pressuring Dave for third position now because of Stu making that mistake, New Stu, and dropping back. Suddenly they're fighting for a podium.
I'll tell you what, having 14 drivers instead of like 25 is a lot more simpler to look at the timings, because it's a lot more noticeable when fights are actually going to happen.
Yeah, and we are still getting lots of battles, which is nice as well. Smaller grid not necessarily resulting in less action.
Yeah.
So far.
Especially when that Brad guy's not there.
Yeah, I've
trundling
heard terrible
along.
things about that guy.
Yeah, never any action, just trundles in circles.
I'd like to think I give some action in my fight from the back after T1.
No, you were very good last week. And probably always.
That sounded very sarcastic, Henry. Anyway.
It wasn't. I meant it.
You were very good last
silly.
week,
I
Brad.
think I always manage to get myself into a comeback drive where I'm overtaking people slower than me and then
Yeah.
usually back with the people. Where was I? When we did Suzuka, I think I was up where I should have been, but since then it's a bit bad.
And Stu made a bit of a mistake there, and Pete capitalised on it. Pete up into P10. Probably be expecting him to gain some more positions, even with the damage
Definitely.
that we think he's carrying.
Stu has improved a massive amount over the course of this season. Like with these, over these races, he's got a lot quicker and a lot closer to the normal pace. He's getting really harder and harder to overtake.
Yeah, good stuff. Nice to hear, drivers learning and improving. It's kind of what it's all about, I guess. At the end of the day, having fun, getting fast.
Couldn't do any unfortunate thing and turn Brad up, because apparently he was very quiet on his new PC.
Old PC, new Windows.
New Windows PC. And Henry, that old catchphrase is coming out again. Starting to stretch out a bit, aren't they?
It is. It looks like that battle for third is still quite close between Dave, Callum, and Paul. But then, yeah, outside of that, we are seeing some gaps appearing. We've also got Pete pretty close to Colin as well for P9. Those are the fights that I'm keeping my eye on at the moment.
Oh, looks like Paul is going to put a bit of pressure on Callum. Only 3 temps behind him. Callum, we know, is not the best person under pressure. So, he hugs the apex there, coming around out of that turn. Will Paul be able to capitalise on that? Was a little bit of a look on the inside, not going to do anything about it, definitely. Going to stretch out the gap, Callum. And maybe even look towards Dave. Oh, he's going to drop back a bit. 1 second between Dave and Callum, as Paul is still hunting down the McLaren arse of Callum.
And here goes Pete, going for a move on Stu, but actually I don't think he's... Oh no, yeah.
And Colin.
Colin, sorry. I don't know why it looked like Stu.
Because the puff Porsche and got weird liver, as we did talk about this, Henry.
Yes, we did. But not quite getting the move done there.
Still going to be right up his arse, though.
He is still very close. Going through these difficult corners, turn 10 and 11 here. And probably not much chance to overtake through there. But he is having a look now. Oh dear, I think that must have been a desync there.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Pete went underneath the ground. He went digging. He dug.
Did. It looks like he's back with us now after that terrifying departure from the race.
Yeah, actually, Henry, that means you're a really good commentator because you couldn't distinguish cars. As Lee said, you did your Beth Crosby impression.
That's exactly what I need to do, isn't it? I'm bang on.
There's a future of Formula 1 for Henry here if he keeps getting the car names wrong.
I need to make a sizzle reel of me getting car names wrong. Driver names wrong.
5 million minutes long.
Alright, well enjoy the race, chaps. I'm going to go finish off my Windows build.
Okay, good job.
Okay. Have fun, Brad.
User disconnected from your
Oh,
channel.
damn.
Paul. We're cutting back to Pete. Still not quite making the move. Stick on Colin, but he's got the inside.
Pete, yep. Carry on.
And they're coming up. This looks like it's going to be easy out of turn 3. Pete's got the inside for turn 4, which is nice and tight. We've cut away from the battle.
See, Henry, this is why you turn auto cam off.
Yeah, I have now turned it off, and it looks like Pete has secured that position. And now he's got an 8-second gap to James. So let's see if he can close that gap.
Oh, Callum's going to go down the inside of that turn, but I don't think he's going to get the position done. He's definitely put pressure on Dave, and Dave's going to sacrifice his corner, but Dave is going to keep the position. I think Callum maybe backed out of that bit because he probably might have been able to dive down the inside, but he didn't, as Dave goes very, very wide. But Callum spins out a bit, lost the back end. He's going to lose a position to Paul. Oh, all this, and Callum has lost out. Did look so good for Callum, but Paul's going to gain, and Dave is going to gain probably a bit on Paul as they come around the last corner. Maybe even Stewart's going to gain on this as well, because we're all battling with each other, and this battle's been going on for a very, very long time. Come up to T1. Dave in front, followed by Paul, then Callum, and then Stewart, always eyeing up the people in front of him. Definitely the faster driver, especially in the quality, but in race terms, maybe not. As we've seen, he's not caught up too much. He had the big spin at the first lap. Was it the first lap or the second lap? I don't know.
And in this lap, we missed it, I think, but Bobby has overtaken Stu there. So Bobby taking P11.
Drop for Bobby.
Yeah, that came kind of out of nowhere. I didn't even realise they were close, but there we go.
Still,
right, these three sticking to each other very close, aren't they? And you see Callum kind of closing and then getting dropped back behind again.
Henry,
Yes.
I have actual information.
What's that?
2 people started on the softs.
Oh, which two? Which two?
Martin, which is probably the reason Martin's pulled away from Alex, who's on the mediums, and Pete, who did definitely. Oh,
Callum having a go at Paul, but actually Paul's going to come back because Callum got out onto that exit curb, and very unfortunate there. Just ran a little bit too wide and couldn't carry the speed. Sorry, you were saying Pete, the other one on the soft tyre.
Who unfortunately did have the spin, didn't he? Right at the start. So that's probably sacrificed a bit of his time that he was hoping to gain, especially looking at Martin, who's got 3.6 seconds on Alex. So that, so far, looks like it's been a really, really good move by Martin. Did my source say 2 stops? It is a 2-stop for the softs, apparently. According to him.
Right,
And,
so
that
if that's
person
the case,
definitely isn't on softs right now.
Yeah, and if that's the case, then it's going to make quite the interesting fight here for Martin and Alex. If Martin has to 2-stop and Alex doesn't, Martin's got to pull a pretty big gap, but he is on the way to doing that as we speak.
Yep, definitely surprised to see the person on the softs. That definitely wasn't my source.
Of course.
Definitely wasn't Pete.
How is Pete messaging you while he's driving?
No, he's not. He messaged me like at 4 o'clock today.
Oh, okay. So you didn't go through all of the things that you'd learnt. That's.
What?
No, you didn't tell us that they were starting on the softs at the start.
Yeah, I didn't look. I've literally just changed to see how many pit stops and how many what tyres people are on. And yeah, that was a shock.
Wow. Watching these guys, definitely seems like Callum is running higher downforce than the cars around him. They tend to pull away down the long straights, but then he's making it right back up.
Oh, Callum almost went into the rear of Paul. Almost cleared Paul. I think Callum's heart skipped a beat there because he almost killed him. Anyway, Callum's going to carry on hunting down Paul as we get into the night time in Sepang with 41 minutes remaining. And it's been quite an exciting race so far.
It has. But as we always end up saying, I think now things are calming down a little bit. Although Pete has already pretty much closed that gap
Jesus.
to James. Oh, Jesus.
Oh, yeah. I had a bit of... Oh, someone's gone into the pits.
That is Hasib
Okay.
pitting from P14. And yeah, Pete already closed down that gap to James very quickly. So, and going very deep into the final corner there. Going to work it out. Get a nice line on the exit. And I won't be surprised if we see him making a challenge for P8 pretty soon.
But still, these three, having the battle of their lives, Dave, Paul and Callum, always been switching around because I think Callum wasn't in P3. Dave's been holding P3. Paul was in P5. Callum lost it. Pete's going to get that position now.
There goes Pete. Yeah, that was a pretty opportunistic dive, but James saw it coming and didn't turn in too sharply, so they got away with it. And yeah, Pete's through, as we say.
Tell you what, no disappointed Wannicam today. So far, not been disappointed in anyone. Almost disappointed in Callum then, because it was very close to touching, as he was earlier. Was he going to look down the inside? Thought about it, definitely thought about it. He's going to get the better inside line, but I think Paul's going to get the better traction. And maybe even the traction to even look at Dave, but I think the corner's going to help. But Callum, that's a great shot. And Callum's going to get the inside. It's a great move by Callum. Didn't look like it was coming. Definitely coming now, but is it going to hold on to it? He looks like he is. He's going to get the inside now.
This is the.
He's touched the grass. That might lose a bit of track. But Paul, sorry. He's got around the outside. He's going to have to try to defend from Stu. New Stu now.
Stu out of nowhere.
I did say earlier he was definitely probably going to be looking at the fights happening in front of him and hoping to catch up, but it looks like Snoozy's going to strut back a bit. Definitely not got the race pace we hoped he would have. And Callum's driving away from Paul. And Paul dropping back into Stu's hands as Dave still drives away further. Hasib, we've lost Hasib, unfortunately.
I guess he had a lot of damage doing that pit stop and maybe thought not quite worth carrying on. And yeah, this battle's heating up here for third place. I mean, any of these guys could take it.
Yeah.
Still 45 minutes to go, and if Pete, it looks like, is going into the pits.
Yep.
So as you say, that two-stop strategy. Pete pitting with 38 minutes to go. I was looking at the wrong timing. Yeah, 38 minutes to go. So that lines up about with your with that two-stop idea. The wine's starting to get to me.
Excellent.
And yeah, I'll keep my eye out for any other. I guess our other pit stop we're expecting soon is Martin, who has pulled a 7-second gap now to Alex. And, but still, I mean, if he has to two-stop and Alex doesn't,
someone needs to do the maths.
The gap yet.
Someone
Not
needs to
enough
do
of
the
a gap
maths.
yet. Yeah.
You didn't do the maths, Henry, because you don't know how long the pit stop is.
No, I didn't, because I don't like this circuit. I refuse to do the research when I don't like driving. Someone else can do it.
Definitely the gap for P3, P4, and P5 starting to open up. Even Paul, it's got a nice little gap between him and Stu.
Not really.
I didn't say
As
that.
you say that,
Never said that. I never said that. Oh, the commentator's curse. God damn it. God damn it, Whiny.
Up into P5. Famously not Scottish, New Stu. Takes P5.
Okay, now. no, the gaps have opened. Because there's not many. There's like 1.3 seconds. I feel like this is a safe time for me to go for a PP.
Yep. There is not much going on right now apart from Bobby and Colin having a bit of a fight, but it looks like actually Colin has gone off the circuit and also lost a position to Ian there. And it looks like Stu's pretty close here as well, but not quite close enough, so Colin losing 2 positions there. Oh, and he's going to go out wide onto the gravel, and Stu's joining him, but not quite as badly. Lots of drivers making some unforced errors here. I'm not sure if Colin initially was involved in a collision. If he was, I didn't quite catch it. But Colin losing 3 positions there to Ian and Bobby. So bit of work to do, and these 2 Porsches, Colin and Stu, back fighting again, as actually Colin is gonna drive into the pit lane. Guessing has a little bit of damage, and we are nearing the halfway mark now. So a reasonable time for a one-stop pit, maybe slightly pushing it, but not too badly. And yeah, there isn't much else going on really right now. Everybody driving in their own little bubbles, apart from that fight that we were on earlier with New Stu, Paul, and Callum. Sorry, New Stu, Callum, and Dave. Paul has dropped back from that. But even these guys really just driving a little bit apart from each other. Lee thinks the two-stop is a lie.
Might be.
And I do think, I mean, you know, at that point, pitting, you know, now as Pete has, he could have pitted onto the mediums or the hards and gone for a one-stop. So yeah, maybe he will be one-stopping.
Could be. Only 34 minutes to go. 4 minutes until the usual pit stops halfway through. People on the mediums seem to be dealing okay with the tyres. No turkey incidents with everyone slipping around on the tyres.
Oh, you say that. We did have... Colin had a couple of incidents just now. I don't know if you were listening.
I wasn't.
Yeah, Colin and Stu both went off on their own accord on turn 14 out onto the gravel.
Oh.
Did a couple of little pirouettes. But yeah, now gaps are opening, and it does look like New Stu is closing the gap.
Wait, New Stu got past. Oh yeah, it did. Of course it did.
Yeah. Actually, no. Looking at the timings, actually, I think New Stu and Callum are currently lapping at about the same pace as each other. And Dave in P3 is going a tad slower than both of them, so might be a bit of a fight coming up between Callum and Dave. But I'll keep an eye on the lap times and see what happens. But those guys are the only cars even remotely close to each other right now. The live timings map is incredibly spread out.
Yeah. Maybe Callum's the smallest gap right now. Or maybe Dave's had a bit of an off because Callum's catching Dave at a rate of knots 0.5. Well, it's dropping back a bit now as the Audi pulls away. as they come up to the last left-hander corner.
Yeah, and it seems like Callum's very strong on the brakes and through the corner, but then on the exit, not quite getting the drive. But his overall lap times are quicker than Dave's right now. Dave just did a 2:07 dead, and Callum a 2:06.6.
5 attempts quicker by those timers that I just saw. So definitely catching up to Callum. I mean, to Dave, I mean. Can he get the move done? We all know Callum cannot overtake. Although the overtake that we saw earlier was quite impressive. So I'll take that back.
Yeah, Callum on form today, looking for what I think would be his best result of the championship.
Oh, that's a good fact. I like that. That's a Sky fact if I've ever seen one.
Sky fact. But I'm now actually fact checking.
Then before Callum has won a race before.
No, that is correct. Callum has never finished in the top 3.
Oh,
so
he's never got a podium.
Yeah, so this could be his first podium of the championship.
Could be.
He can take this position from Dave.
Could be. Doesn't need to get round the big wide Audi of Dave with his yellow headlights. Callum with the blue interior light. His favourite colour, famously, is blue. Well, blue. Oh, I'll be gonna stop because that sounds so too cringy. Anyway. Oh, he's gonna get the inside. Oh, and he's gonna spin. He's gonna touch. That was a bit too much. All he had to do was wait, and I think. Oh, my camera's not working. Never mind. Right, that was gonna be a one disappointed camera. On Callum.
Losing 2 positions. Dave and New Stu both coming through, and it looks like it's actually brought him quite close to Paul as well.
Yeah. If anything, this has been really bad for Dave because New Stu is gonna put lots and lots of pressure. Alex is pitting? Was that what I was to say?
Alex going into the pits, and also
so is Dave.
There goes Dave, and will Callum. Yep, Callum is also going into the pits, as is Paul.
And I tell you what, I was talking shit about New Stu, but I just remembered looking at a very close eye camera. He has a lot of damage, doesn't he? So that's definitely affecting the shit out of it. The front end of his car is crumpled. It's like a big crumple zone that you get on a car. Yeah.
Yeah, I think a good drive from New Stu here. We'll see how long his damage repairs are. If he opts to do them, it seems like he has pretty good pace with the damage, so might opt to stay out. Not quite as quick as Callum and Dave were, but now he has the track position, so
Callum
that might not matter.
Definitely, I think, had a lot of damage repair because Paul is right behind Callum. Definitely weren't like that this close, definitely, during the entry to the pits.
And we've got Bobby hopping into the pits as well.
Definitely the time for everyone to dive into the pits and to make everything very, very confusing for me and Henry. Yeah. Martin's still out in front with Shu in P2. Both have yet to pit. Andy in P3, definitely not to pit because I forgot Andy existed. There it is, pit stops. Dave, apparently, according to this, has had 2 stops in P6. Apparently Bobby has as well.
I don't think that's correct.
Alex has done 1 stop. James yet to pit stop. Dave's apparently, like I said, had 2. Carl's had 1. Paul's had 1. Pete's had 1. He's had 0. Bobby had 2. Colin had 1. And his Zebra is disconnected. So that's it. Yeah, carry on.
Yeah, and we'll see. I mean, Pete did go for a pretty early pit stop, didn't he? I wonder if he is going for
Martin's dived into the pits. He's in the pits now. He's changing his tyres. I can see the pit crew working. Yeah, I can definitely see them working. Where will Stuart's going to look like he's going to get to P1 right now? He is. Still yet to pit.
And it looks like James has actually just had a bit of a crash and is struggling to get going again, as far as I can tell. And it's going to let Pete through, as well as Bobby's already gone through. Not Bobby, sorry. Paul. I think Paul may have already been ahead, but let's definitely let Pete through. And yeah, didn't see it, but James making a bit of a mistake there.
I'm definitely interested on the tyre front because Martin's gone back to softs. Has he? Yeah, he's definitely gone back to softs.
He could well have done because
He has,
I
yeah.
mean, if he started on the softs, he made it halfway.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's interesting because he's gone back onto softs, but Pete hasn't. Pete's gone on to the mediums, who was previously on the softs, changed this tune and gone on to the mediums. Maybe thinking,
Yeah. Going for the one stop, thinking he can't do it with 2 sets of soft tyres, I suppose. And Paul there did have a bit of a look down the pit straight, but didn't make a move happen. But still very close to Callum here. Callum is doing his best to fend off the Porsche.
yeah, definitely the gap very close between them two. Actually, did Callum get... Oh, it's a freeze for me. Oh, there we go. There we go, we're back. This has definitely happened only on Malaysia, so I don't know what's wrong with this track. As Paul's trying to do a reverse of what Callum almost did to him, as Callum actually, I think, touched the gravel. It was a lot of time. Is Paul going to get around the outside? Oh, he's not going to get it done, but Paul is still going to keep off. McLaren is going to hold on to it. He is. So, yep, Callum's going to hold on to it just for a little bit longer. Because he's still going to be under pressure. And the Porsche behind him. Can Callum hold on to it, Henry? What do you think?
I think so. I mean, earlier on in the race, Callum definitely had more pace than Paul, but I suppose it depends on what sort of damage situation is. We saw Callum have that incident, and I don't know if he took the repairs in the pit stop or not. But Paul getting a really good exit here, and he's definitely going to be able to have a look on the outside. And he's got a lot more speed here.
It looks like it's going to be really easily done by Paul.
Let's see how brave Callum is on the brakes. Paul's closing the gap, and yet... But Callum actually getting into the apex a bit nicer. But Paul's got the inside for turn 2, and that should make this a done deal. And it looks like it does. So yeah, Paul taking P5 there from Callum. And let's see now if Callum can hold on to the back of Paul and re-aggress, or whether there is something that's affecting his pace a little bit.
Right. My totally unfounded opinion is Callum's brain maybe thinking about a bit too much what he did to Dave. Maybe a bit scared about he might do it again, and maybe with the braking... He's definitely losing out on the straights, as we've seen before, because of more downforce, I assume. And maybe every time he goes into a corner thinking, shit, I don't want to kill that person again, because he's a bit... gonna have some PTSD about it. As you come around, it's a very tight left-handed hairpin. Although, as I said, I'm definitely looking at it at least. Doing the manoeuvre, not quite sure. As Stuart is going into the pits, where will he come out? We're coming out in front of Dave and Paul. Oh, Callum, because he was definitely in the fight between them lot as the pit stops happened, especially as the Dave and Stuart. I mean, the Dave and Callum, that's the word. Callum incident happened. Where is Dave going to be? He's coming around the last corner. Is Stuart going to set off yet? Tell you when Stuart is going to set off, because it's not yet. Dave's coming around the pit straight now. I think Dave might have this. He's going to cross the line now. Yeah, he's going to get past. I think Stuart's actually fixing all his bodywork.
So it's going to be close with Callum and Paul as well. Looks like they're going to get past.
Yeah, easily past. Definitely Stuart's definitely fixed all the damage that he had. And he's even going to be under pressure from Andy. No one's been under pressure from Andy in this race.
Indeed, they haven't. And yeah, you're right. Andy coming out very close to New Stu there. But if New Stu has fixed all of that damage, I would expect him to pull away
Yep.
from Andy here, and probably put a challenge on to Callum and Paul up here if they continue fighting.
Especially when they've got a blue flag in front of him, that's Stu in front of him. Going around the fast left-hander. Is that the one we were saying it's not quite flat? Or is that another
It is, that left-hander, yeah, turn 5, yeah, they're not quite flat corner.
Definitely Paul flashing the shit out of Stu to get out of fucking way.
Callum doing a bit of a flash there as well. And running out onto the grass, gets away with it, but does fall back.
That's a 1.5 second if I've seen yeah, and Henry's new rules, that would be a 10-second penalty.
Yep.
If it was one.
Race ban for
right,
people
okay.
with 7 at the end of their wheels. And also, while we are watching this fight, it looks like Ian and Colin are having a bit of a bout as well for P11.
Yeah. But, to be fair to Paul and Callum, these two have been together for fucking ages, haven't they?
They have.
Lee, I don't want to get TOS'd. Don't do that, Lee. I feel like there's like a bot looking for people who say there's so much flashing. At least I'm not in the just chatting section, that's fine. On Twitch. Because I'm both on Twitch and YouTube. Hashtag sponsored. As Ian actually got past Colin, and they both run onto the green part of the AstroTurf. And it definitely looks like Ian's going to get the position done on Colin. 3 taps already in terms of that fight. As they come around a tight left-hander, buff it in the apex. Looking like it's going well for Ian. Paul's actually pulling away from Callum. 1 second. There's a 1.8 second gap between Callum and Stu. James is actually down into the pits, I think, for his first pit stop. I believe it will be.
And that, I think, will let Bobby through into P9. If not, it's going to be very close. I'll keep an eye on that one.
I'll tell you what, in terms of tyre reality TV show, Stuart has gone on to the softs. And James has just gone to the softs actually as well. It's probably a smart thing to do, especially when there's 19.5 minutes to go.
Right, but it has given up P9 to Bobby there, probably already in turn 1. But it looks like James is going to come out ahead of Ian into the first corner.
Definitely Callum. Definitely the smallest gap between him and Paul, as it has been all the way through this goddamn race.
Yep. And it looks like Stu is wanting to make this fight into a sandwich as well, closing that gap as we thought he might.
Stu? Yeah?
New Stu.
Oh, new Stu.
Yeah.
Damn it, I need to say new Stu. Because I was like, Stu's 1 minute of 19 seconds behind Colin.
Yeah, Stu's not even here.
Wow, Henry. I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
Not even on this part of the track.
Wow, okay, yeah.
And yeah, we'll get a confirmation on the lap times as we cross the line. Yeah,
2
New Stu
temps.
is going.
Oh, fuck. New Stu's 4 times
faster than
quicker.
Callum, and Callum is going.
And new Callum is definitely 2 temps faster than Paul.
Yeah. So those guys are going to concertina.
Oh, there we go. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. And we'll see how this fight develops, as it is pretty much the only fight going on, apart from, actually, Pete is also catching up to Andy for P7 here. So Pete's recovery drive going well as Stuart goes incredibly deep.
Oh, yep.
No, new Stu all the way out onto the gravel. And I was just saying he was going to make it a sandwich. Unfortunately, I was wrong.
And Andy looks like he's going to get past New Stu, is he? No, he's not. New Stu just got onto the track just before Andy could get around him. Is he going to be under pressure though? That is the question. 0.5 seconds is the gap. Andy goes around onto the green bit. And I don't think Andy is going to get the position done so far. All depends if Stewart makes maybe another big mistake. I like to take back my take back on Stewart's race pace. Race pace. Because he's definitely made a few mistakes. Maybe he needs to do a bit more practice instead of practicing the quality laps. Maybe. Ooh, person behind Andy, I think, just had a bit of an off. He had a bit of gravel. Yeah, Stewart maybe needs to do a bit more race practice because he's a faster boy in the quali.
Oh, Andy! He touched the outside grass and let Andy through.
Yeah, I was like, Andy's actually going to get it done. He's going to get it done, but there's a long straight to come. The BMW versus the McLaren. Not quite sure which is the faster in a straight line, but Andy is definitely pulling away with that better traction, especially when Stewart does the worse, exit. And Andy going around the last corner, looks like he's going to pull away. He's already a second in front.
Yeah, New Stu just making a couple of little mistakes here towards the end. I mean, he just put 2 tyres on the grass there and couldn't get his car slowed down.
Yeah.
And that's cost him another position. And going to be kicking himself after that one, I think.
It is weird sometimes racing, especially at this level. Like, basically, you just have to practice and practice to be fast. Like, you just need to do the same thing over and over again, don't you?
Yeah, an hour's race is quite a thing to get used to.
Yeah, exactly.
Well.
Yeah,
for sure.
That's what I mean. But yeah, that's what I mean. Like, you have to do the same thing over and over again for an hour, and that could be very, very hard because not getting zoned out and not losing your concentration. But that split second, you look away for a split second, and you miss that corner, and you've lost a second or two to the person behind you. But there's only 15 minutes to go. Light is coming up.
Yeah, I was going to say, lovely, lovely sunrise here at Sepang. Nice to see. And some lovely, lovely fights as well. Although, unfortunately, Callum is dropping back from Paul currently. So, looks like this fight between New Stu and Andy is the closest one. But Pete, again, breathing down the necks and closing that gap as they go. Although his last lap was a little bit off pace, it was still quicker, just about, than Andy and New Stu. So we'll see what lap times are this lap as they're coming towards the end of the lap. We'll see what the paces have been like.
Welcome, Brad. Take the team speak. What have you got to say about this, Brad?
Yeah, that's the thing. You've got to do real world practice. You know that phrase that
I was wondering.
perfect preparation prevents piss poor performance. If you're not preparing right, you're going to perform badly. Practice is only as good as how accurate the practice is. I don't go out when I'm karting and try and drift every corner, despite how fun it is. Sure. It's not the fastest way around the corners.
Oh, thanks, Brad, for that.
Inspired.
Yeah. And maybe that will inspire Stewart to get past Andy. Only 4 temps. It was basically... Oh, that was like 7 temps quicker the lap than he was. But still, Pete was a 10th quicker than Stewart. But Stewart's going to look like he's going to dive the inside end. He's not going to put...
it slowed down. Oh.
Henry, please talk us through this fight.
Oh, just a lovely move there from Stu. Got it slowed down wonderfully, and then held that apex and didn't give Andy any space. But he had the track position that was completely his right, and Andy getting wide onto the grass there and instantly falling back away from Stu. But here's Pete, as we were saying, Pete now really, really close after that little battle. As they come into turn 5. And, yeah, Andy maybe looking to lose a couple of places here. As Pete gets a very nice exit from 6. We're coming into 7 and 8. Using a little bit more than all of the curb there. I guess they've decided that that's okay. I've seen a couple of drivers doing that today. And, yeah, we'll see how they close up here. Yeah, Pete definitely quicker through those tight 180-degree corners.
Yeah, definitely putting the pressure on Andy all the way through these corners. Andy's definitely looking in his rear view mirror a bit more than he's looking in through his windscreen, because Pete is trying to get P7 off Andy. Pete, who definitely was a bit of a I don't want to say letdown because that feels a bit harsh. definitely let down by himself. There we go. I like that bit. He's got to get the speed. He's got to go down the inside. McLaren versus McLaren. Pete's got to get the inside corner. Who's going to get a bit of traction now? Because Andy's cut down the inside. Is he going to get it? He is. He's going to hold it. Oh, it's very high pitched there. Anyway, Andy is going to get the position and hold it somehow. When Pete looked so close.
Oh, so close. Yeah, good instincts from Andy there to see that Pete had gone a little bit too deep and instantly went for that cutback. Didn't even think about trying to hold the
I
outside.
feel like giving too much credit to Andy there. He's probably wankered.
It was a good move, even if it was by accident. And yeah, we say. I mean, I don't know if Pete dropping Mac at the start was due to him or if he was just caught up in a collision. I didn't really see it.
Either way.
Regardless, yeah, recovering well. And
Has recovered well. He probably wanted to be higher than P8.
yeah, probably still a bit disappointed after qualifying in P4.
Definitely not trying to talk him up. So I get more insight
And
in the next race.
yeah, Pete and Paul basically doing a swap there. Paul qualified in P7, up in P4 now, and Pete from P4 down to P8. But challenging for P7, might get back to that position in the next 11 minutes. And I think that's the only fight we're gonna have going on as Callum has dropped back away from Paul, and yeah, everybody else is pretty spread out. Apart from actually, Paul isn't too far away from Dave. I think that's because Dave had a really slow lap last lap. Yeah, Dave's last lap was a 2:11.8, where Paul's doing a 2:06. Oh, and Andy, no, sorry, Pete, out onto the grass there and dropping back from Andy a little bit. Gonna have his work cut out to catch back up. I guess that means have a look at what's going on with Paul and Dave here. Let's see what these lap times are like as they cross the line. Dave has done a 2:06.8 and Paul has done a 2:06.3.
5 tenths quicker.
Paul lapping a little bit quicker, and he's got time. There might still be a challenge for a podium position in this race.
Yeah, it's looking like there might be a fight towards the end, especially looking at things right now. They're definitely spread out a lot more than have been throughout the race. It's been a great race around the beautiful, as Henry definitely wouldn't say, the nice little turns of Sepang, because Henry hates this track. No matter what he says after I've said this, Henry hates this track.
That's the new, truth.
As Rod just said, it might be time for Paul to spin. Maybe it's Paul's spin-or time. Who knows?
In the stressful situation.
Yeah, but I mean, Paul's been doing a good race. He's been.
Yeah. Gained a
Mr.
bunch
Paul,
of positions.
I think it's Paul Harrison. It's Paul Harrison, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Yeah. He's been doing a pretty consistent race. He's been defending. He's been attacking. He's been racing.
Turning right.
And he's been turning left.
Yeah.
Around the Sepang circuit in Malaysia. It's definitely where we are right now. All are right now, if you want me to actually speak English.
Malaysia, very warm. That's all I know about
I feel like this is the only thing you've researched. How warm is Malaysia? Anyway, but actually there's a fight going on there. Oh, Jesus.
Down
Paul.
the pit straight, and he's on the inside as well. That's not the pit straight. He's not on the inside.
But has he got his goal? He's turned in on him. He's done quite well there. To be fair, it was a bit cheeky, but he's got it done.
Maybe a bit late, but yeah, as you say, got the position, and that was a bit of a Grosjean move.
Yeah, it was fine. It was
fine.
within the rules.
Yeah,
Grosjean isn't within the rules.
He did move a little bit before he braked, not very much.
Exactly, he moved before he was braked. Anyway, going around turn Paul definitely. I'm not going to say definitely actually. Probably.
Don't curse him. Don't do it. He
probably got
this.
his podium.
Yeah. And
Henry. Homework. Where did Paul qualify?
Paul qualified in P7, so this is a great outing.
Go on, lad!
And it won't actually be his first podium in the series, but it will be his second podium. He actually finished P3 in the first race of the championship at Suzuka. So it has been a long time since Paul has stood on the podium.
I don't think we commentated over Suzuka.
No, we didn't. We weren't here for that race. So
we were asked till the next race as well.
No, we weren't indeed. So yeah, this will be the first podium for Paul that we've witnessed.
But he is still under pressure from Dave, who goes very late on the brakes, and he's not going to get the traction. Paul is going to get straight away, but might get the top speed that he wants. But there's a corner coming up, and he's going to lose out a bit, and he's going to drop down to 0.8 seconds behind Paul.
It looks like James is putting some pressure on Bobby for P9 now as well. Seeing some little fights appearing in the grid.
Also, Joe, you shouldn't say that because next race, Andy is going to make this thunderer. And me and Henry are really liking it because it's really nice and sunny right now. Actually, yeah. The crowd are going mental in the background. Actually, no, they're laughing at Callum's race!
Wow. Why is it getting louder? Ah!
There you go, that's the crowd laughing at Callum. Don't know why they're laughing at Callum. Pretty mean if you ask me. He's done the race that he wanted to do. Did he qualify in P5? Is quality in P5?
He did. He made his way back after that mistake that we saw earlier on.
And he's in P5 right now. Looks like he's safely got P5. So he's done the race that he wanted to do. Well, bar any moments when he maybe crashed into people, and maybe could have done a bit better. But he did do that good. He did do that one good overtake, right?
It was a very nice overtake. Yes.
If it might have been by accident, we don't know. Just trying to shit talk Callum. Anyway, Dave dropping back from Paul. As I said, that the times are coming down. God damn it, Wanny. 0.8 seconds to go. Should watch my video when it's finished processing. Oh, of course. I'm not gonna fucking sponsor your video, Joe. Well, talk about your video because you'll get more viewers. You have too many viewers right now on your videos.
And it also looks like James is dropping away from Bobby. Bobby putting in his personal best lap there, a 2:08 dead, to hold P9 and pull back away from James.
Right now I'm looking at my finger and I think it's a bit more bent than usual.
Is that maybe because you broke it?
Yeah, it's been straight for a bit, but I think I've just bent it a bit too much.
Did they do the thing where they were like, your finger will never be the same again?
No, I mean, I've had to do physio.
Yeah.
But,
Usually when you break something, they're always like, it'll never be the same again. And then it's usually fine eventually. Because it depends how badly you break it.
You don't do editing, do you? You don't edit things. You edited things. You don't edit the Benga Boys video. Oh, there's a fight, James and Bobby.
Yeah, it's as I say, I've been watching this one, and James was closer to Bobby. Bobby's kind of pulling away, and James is using all of the available track surface to try and catch back up with him again, but it does look like he's gained a little bit this lap, but they're both very, very close on pace here.
Don't know what you're talking about, Henry. I've hyped this up just enough because James is putting the pressure onto Bobby, and I think he's dropping back a bit.
And it does look like Pete is putting the pressure on Andy as well. Oh,
that'd be great, because Andy's definitely gone wide as we cut to him. Oh, that was a weird thing that he just did. I don't know if it was lag or just end it. Because he swiveled a bit under braking. Definitely catching up like you said, because it's only 0.6 seconds. As they come up.
It was nearly a second quicker last time around.
And I think I'm going to christen that corner the Callum corner. This Callum definitely nearly killed someone around that corner. Don't know if that's like... I've forgotten the word. Doesn't matter. Anyway, Pete, only 4 tenths behind him right now.
You can see that Andy's struggling with rear grip there on the exit.
Tell you what, I think Andy's struggling with everything.
Yeah.
That's the way it looks right now, because Pete is going to gain a bit on the straight as they come up to the last corner. How much is Pete gonna? He's not going to gain much on the braking. And they both hit the outside. Never mind the exit curb.
Not the outside apex, surely.
Thinking about it towards the end, the outside apex did sound a bit stupid.
It looks
I'll
like
admit.
Colin going off the track there, but I don't think he's going to lose any positions from it. As also, don't think he's going to have quite enough time to get there, but New Stu is closing in on Callum as well.
Yeah, only 1 minute to go. Let's see when Martin, I'm not going to say it, the current leader, coming around the last corner, so it's definitely going to be another lap after this. This is the last lap coming up for Martin. With 25 seconds between him and second place, definitely won the race. Definitely kept control of the race ever since he got past Alex early on in the race. Is in his beautiful Nissan GT-R. I have a Nissan GT-R Lego on my wall, and it is beautiful.
Lovely.
Yep. And Pete, is going to go down the outside, of Andy on that Callum corner. And he's not going to get the position done because Andy did quite well to park it on the apex and slow Pete down a bit. Pete on the mediums, Andy on the mediums. Gonna keep it going as I think there's a blue flag in front of him going off the track. Because apparently that's what blue flags do, Henry.
Getting well out of the way there, Colin. And yeah, Pete's definitely as close as he's ever been right here, and he's got a little bit of a run.
Talk us through it, Henry.
He's going for the inside, but there's not a very big gap. He's tapped Andy, but he's okay. Andy's moving over to take the corner. Normally, Pete is staying all the way in. He's going to go deep here. That's going to give Andy the undercut, surely. It is doing, and Andy's giving him a little bash just to let him know. And yeah, that was a little bit sloppy from both of those drivers, I would say.
If I was Andy, I'd be giving the place back because there was definitely too much hitting going through there, because I think what Andy did to Pete definitely slowed Pete down.
I couldn't quite see where Andy was on the circuit, but Pete, for some reason, when he came in towards the corner, hugged the inside of the track and just gave himself a terrible line, which is why he ended up going so deep. If he'd have just squeezed Andy out a little bit, he'd have probably gotten through that corner a lot easier. Maybe maybe he needs to turn on Heli Corsa so he can tell how close the car next to him is.
The most terrifying thing is that he probably does have a Heli Corsa on right now. So, Pete, definitely going to lose out on P8, qualified in quite high. He'll lose all the way down to P8. But I think Martin has already crossed the line. Yep, he's already crossed the line.
Pete's actually gone off here, but he should be safe because I think Bobby, who's in P9, was a lap down and has already actually finished the race because he was another lap down.
He has, so we can basically, and I say basically, yep, we can pretty much wrap up the standings right now because Martin in P1 is going to get a great win for him. I don't think he's going to get the championship under much words.
No, he'll be securing second place for him.
Yeah, he'll be securing second place, but he's not going to put pressure. Pressure's the word. Not going to put pressure on the championship out of the hall because Alex is going to probably run away with that. Anyway, Alex in P2, Paul in P3. Did great race for him. As Henry said, it's on his second podium. This championship. Dave is in P4. Here's another good defending race from him. Could defend from Paul, but defended from Callum just enough. And Callum in P5. Stuart P6. Definitely a disappointment for Stuart. New Stu. Andy. Who's Andy? I've never heard of him. Pete. Disappointment from Pete. Qualifying so high. Going down so low. Pete. Bobby. Just doing Bobby things. James. James. Ian. And then Stu, Colin, and then Hasibu DNF'd. Quite a long time ago. Henry. Race review.
Fun race. We had a lot of battling going on.
User entered your channel.
Maybe the cleanest race we've seen so far, overall.
Joe, thoughts?
Yeah.
Joe, thoughts? Joe. What are your thoughts?
So, just an announcement here from the stewards to
Okay.
say that Andy is under investigation for causing a collision, as well as multiple infringements of track limit rules, and that will be investigated after the race.
Okay, I mean, it's after the race if you investigate.
So we'll expect to hear it in about 5
And I would
minutes.
just like to announce that there is a conclusion of our investigation into Andy's crimes. It would seem that he is guilty and has been disqualified from the event.
Oh, ooh. Guilty.
Harsh but fair judgment
Yeah,
there.
I mean,
we
fair
might
enough.
say. Yeah.
What we do here at the FIA, unless you pay us.
Anyway, it looks like Hamilton's won the race. It's a bit fade to the black, but thanks guys for watching. I'm back.
Thanks very much.